Hi, everyone, and welcome to another round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm JB, setting up the questions and the tweets for Cole Hamels of the Texas Rangers, who's been good enough to take out some time and hang out with fans, answer questions. Cole, how you doing?
Doing well. How about you guys?
We're doing great. The fans are fired up in between other activities online. They're staying busy. They're excited to be here in the Chatting Cage. The MLB Fans app has the Chatting Cage. Use your device to get in touch with Cole, get questions just like this fan right here. Hi, young man. How are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What's your question?
I'm Nolan, and I'm from Arlington, Texas. And my question for you is, like, when pitchers come up and ask you for advice, what do you tell them?
Cole, the question is, when pitchers seek out your advice, what's your advice for young pitchers?
I think a lot of times, guys want to know, how you got to the big leagues, how to throw, a change up, just basically more along those lines. And for me, what I really try to reiterate to young kids is, in order to get yourself better, you truly have to be out on the baseball field. So if you have more of an opportunity to play on one team versus another team, I would always pick the team that you're going to get the opportunity to play. When you're out there, that's how you're going to learn to play in the game. And a lot of it has to go with consistency. You have to have good starting point and a good finish. And every windup, everybody's arm angle is going to be different. Everybody's going to have a different velocity because your body does grow at different times. So you have to find something that's going to be consistent and that you can be comfortable with, which allows you to then grow into your body and grow into the game. So that's kind of where I'm at is, feel the confidence. This game is a game of failure. It's just the amount of failures that you have to learn from them. And, if you are able to learn from your failures, you'll then be able to expect more success and to never get discouraged because, we're out here every day at the highest level. And the moment that you get discouraged, you're going to put yourself in a bad situation to not want to improve. You always have to stay positive. So I think that's kind of where it is, it's a game of consistency, and you have to know where you want to start and where you want to finish.
Outstanding thoughts there from Cole Hamels. For a young pitcher named Nolan in Arlington, Texas, I wonder what kind of fans there were down there, or who that may be rooting for as we continue the conversation here with Texas Rangers. Great Cole Hamels. Cole, I'm going to go off the MLB Fans app. This isn't really a question, but I just love reading these because it's a good time. Andrea Renee 02 says, Cole, I can proudly say that I am your number one fan and will always be. Win or lose, Phillies or Rangers, you hold a special place in my heart, and I look forward to seeing you play next week. That's really not a question, but I just thought you'd like to know that from Andrea. That's from the MLB Fans app. So, folks, use the MLB Fans app, fire it up. Get your device fired up and ask Cole a question right here. Cole, if you hear the question, just shout out the answer. Don't wait for me. I'll just get in the way. So when the fan asks you your question, you just holler right back at him, as this fan might do right here. Hi, young man. What's your name? Where you're from? What is your question for Cole Hamels?
My name is Josh, and I'm from Charlotte. I'd like to ask Cole Hamels what he does to prepare for game day, like what kind of stretches and exercises.
So for game days, I've obviously had to change my routine since the moment I came up to where I am now. I have a chiropractor that travels with me, so he does some active muscle release, and then he gives me an adjustment. From there, then I kind of watch some quick video to refresh my plan of attack, of what I want to do against the team and certain hitters. Then I go into my, pregame warm-up, which is out on the field. I have a certain routine of quick little stretches that I'll do just to kind of get the blood flow, into the muscles, get the heart rate up. Then I go and continue to throw, and then I get into my bullpen, session before the game. And I have a pretty good routine when it goes to my bullpen before games that, I throw a set amount of pitches. And everything from there just kind of goes and flows into the game, and the excitement's there, and it seemed to work with me. But I think when you do think about baseball, your routine always has to kind of change a little bit as you get older.
Another great answer from Cole Hamels. For Josh, great young fans getting in here in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage to talk with Cole Hamels, talking about how to stay healthy, what the game day prep may look like. Oh, we got another fan with us. What's your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Cole?
My name's Will, and where's your favorite stadium to play and why?
So my favorite stadium to play, I've always liked going to Dodger Stadium. I grew up as a kid, always being a Padres fan, not liking the Dodgers, but something about going to that stadium. There's a certain intensity. I've always been that visiting player, so they're always kind of on you, and you always want to go out there and kind of quiet the crowd down and prove to them why I'm a big leaguer. They have a great field there. It's pretty pitcher friendly. And then, the weather always seems to suit me because there's never a bad day in California. I don't know, it's probably a biased opinion just because I grew up in California, but it's something that's worked out really well, and it just seems to be a good stadium for me to go pitch.
Yeah, it's a special place when a guy who grew up rooting for the Padres can say it's a favorite place to pitch. That's a cool stadium, indeed. It is now time for the EDJ question of the day. Cole, since moving to Texas, you have been without an original Philly cheesesteak. What comparable food item, if there is any, is your favorite now that you're in Texas?
I'm a big Mexican food guy, so they definitely have a lot of good Mexican food joints around Texas and Fort Worth. So I think I average per week at least 3 or 4 different Mexican meals, and that's always been, it always suits well with me just from being grown up in Southern California. That was always a go-to meal, and it seems to still be that good time.
Say, some traditions you shouldn't mess with. That sounds like a good deal indeed, and you are in the right place for it, without a doubt. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm JB. That is Cole Hamels. You get some FaceTime with him. You fire up your device like this, fan. What's your name? Where you're from? What is your question for Cole?
What's up, Cole? I'm Carlos from LA. Have you ever touched Adrian Beltre's head before?
Have I what? Say it again.
Have you ever touched his hair before? I know that he has a big issue with people touching his hair. Have you ever touched it?
No. I won't even go close to that. I am. If you've ever seen his arms, especially in the weight room, I definitely want to avoid him because he could do some damage to me. I think it's funny that Elvis and Odor and even Profar is getting in the mix with trying to tease him a little bit. But I'll stay so far away from that because that's the last thing I need is to get broken in half by Adrian Beltran.
That would certainly be the headline of the day, that Adrian finally snapped Cole Hamels. Not a good way to go.
Yeah, no good.
This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Folks, fire up your MLB Fans app. Join the show just like Carlos and Josh and Nolan. Get your FaceTime with Cole. You can also hashtag Chatting Cage, and I'll read that off of Twitter. I'm going to go to the MLB Fans app because this is just this is fun. I'm doing it. Ethwin wants to know, how cool is it? This is all caps, by the way. How cool is it having a name like Cole Hamels?
Yeah, it's funny because my original name's Colbert. But I guess growing up, Cole was just kind of easier to say. Flows a little bit better. And I guess I've seen that now with the amount of people in Philadelphia, especially that now have their kids named Cole. I guess my parents did pretty well. They were ahead of the curve with the name. But it is. I think for some odd reason it just flows really well. But at the same time, you got to make your own name for yourself, and it's fun to be able to do so. But nobody really calls me Colbert. I don't know. It just doesn't flow too well.
It certainly is different, and you certainly have made a name for yourself. That is Cole Hamels, World Series champ and World Series MVP. That worked out pretty well. That sounds about right. Colbert Hamels would also work with those other two monikers. Doesn't take away from that at all. Another fan with us. What's your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Cole?
Hi, I'm Ben from New York City, and my question for you is how, if at all, do you use sabermetrics or advanced statistics in preparation for your games?
I think it does help. I've had to learn how to use it just because I'm more of a guy that just goes through previous experiences, previous results from players, with what their swing path was and obviously what results they had off me. If a guy hits 2 or 3 home runs off me in a couple games, I'm going to remember what pitches those were so I don't have to do it. I don't throw them. But the sabermetrics have definitely opened me up to, different, sort of statistical analysis in a sense of counts. Seeing what hitters are trying to look for in certain counts, when they're going to swing away a lot harder more towards that home run so that I can try to avoid their hot spots. It's pretty cool to be able to see that on ESPN, and especially in the video games when you see guys cold and hot spots. But at the same time, even if you do have all that information, you have to be able to execute pitches. And sometimes those spots might not necessarily be a good or a bad thing from what the type of stuff that I throw. So it can get you in a little bit of trouble if you do focus too much on it, but it does give you a really good idea. If you haven't seen guys or had them have results off you, it's a good refresher just to see what type of approach I might have to stick to when I face them.
Awesome insight into the sort of the advanced statistics and how to use them sort of in a balanced attack. That's Cole Hamels breaking that down. We got time for about one more before we say goodbye, which has been awesome. I hate to do it, but we got to do it. We got things to do. At Jessica Rangel would like to know, and I love this one, what hitter in the history of the game do you wish you had gotten to face, and why?
Gosh. Yeah, I know everybody goes for the big home run hitters. I was fortunate enough I got to go against Barry Bonds. That was pretty cool. And I think even though he did go 2 for 3 off me, I did get him out in a crucial situation in the bottom of the 8th, or the top of the 8th, actually. But I think if there was one guy that I would have liked to have faced, probably be, a Tony Gwynn. Growing up in San Diego, got to see him, the 20 years he played, doing the damage that he did. I grew up playing against his son. It would have been pretty cool to be able to play against him, especially in his prime, just to kind of see what and how I would have been able to get him out.
That's an awesome one. One of the great hitters, also now the hitting award, named after Tony Gwynn as well. So that's an excellent answer for a San Diego native as well. And a great all-star break down there in San Diego, by the way. That was just a phenomenal place. One more fan.
Yeah, great spot. Great spot to have
city.
it. I wish they were able to have it there every couple of years. Definitely worth it there.
You're not the only one on that boat. I promise you that, Cole.
Oh, I know.
We got a few people signed up there. One more fan before we say goodbye. What's your name, where you're from, what's your question?
I'm Jack from San Diego. Cole, how was it pitching at the All-Star game in your hometown?
That was a wonderful experience. Not everybody really will ever get that experience when they're in the big leagues. It goes around to every stadium every 20 or 30 years, and most players' careers only last about 4 to 10 years, 15 if you're lucky. So just for that, the way that played out, very fortunate. Fans were awesome there. It was pretty cool to hear the cheers, from the San Diego fans. Going out there, it definitely gives you an adrenaline boost. Even though I'm only pitching 1 inning, coming out of the bullpen, warming up, it was just an exciting time and a great experience that I'll always cherish and remember for as long as I live.
Outstanding, a tremendous moment. I know the fans were totally fired about that beyond description. And with that, I got to say, Cole, you've been amazing. We could do this for another 2 hours, but I know you got stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye. Thanks. Did you have a good time? I hope you did.
I did, yeah. No, we can do this again sometime. It was great.
All right, we'll hold you to that one. That is Cole Hamels, everybody. We thank him, and fans, as always, I thank you for taking time out to be with us. We'll see you on the next round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.